With E3 being just a few weeks away, the rumour mill is beginning to hot up, and that brings about more and more speculation from the FIFA community with regards to what EA's plans might be for the next instalment of the FIFA franchise. Whilst EA don't tend to go all in terms of their announcements at E3, we can be sure to expect new announcements and hopefully some big ones as well. So in this video today, what I plan to do is try and explore just what we can expect. What will EA be announcing? Can we know for sure? Will there be any major changes? Will there be a complete overhaul? Let's find out. First and foremost, the one thing that we know for definite will be at the E3 EA press conference is a new trailer. Now, it doesn't give us fans much in the way of information regarding new features and changes to gameplay, but it is how EA do it. They like to get the ball rolling, begin the marketing campaign for the next installment of the franchise with a new trailer, just to try and show it in all its glory, so to speak, try and get the appearance going, etc. So that is the first thing, and that then leads in to the gameplay. They then begin to talk about the relevant features that we are supposed to be seeing. Whether or not they always come to fruition is another story for another time. But again, we can't take too much from that because of the fact that until we play the game itself, we won't really see it in action. But one gameplay change I do want to talk about, which I believe we could very well be seeing at E3, and I would be very surprised if we didn't, would be that of dynamic weather. Now, for those of you who don't know what that feature is, it's where, say for example, if you're playing in a game of FIFA, it's sunny at the time, the pitch is nice, pristine, all of a sudden it begins to rain torrentially, and as a result the pitch becomes more slippery. Players start to slip over, the ball begins to skid more, or if the rain is really bad, it will begin to stop in certain puddles in the water, and as a result that influences the gameplay and the way in which you go about playing the game. Now, this feature is ever present in other games that EA produce and develop. It is part of the Frostbite engine that is essentially their house style, the one they like to show as advertised as their the forefront of their game, including FIFA. In games like Battlefield and Mass Effect, we see this dynamic weather in play all the time. Even in the PES franchise, Konami have introduced it in that as well. A lot of fans have been looking for that and hoping that it will make its appearance, and I believe that we could see that this year. So perhaps that will be the biggest change to the gameplay itself, and hopefully we will see that. But of course, as FIFA fans, we are all looking for that big flagship announcement that EA usually like to lead with every year at E3. They want it to differentiate it from the past installments of the franchise. They want people to be excited for the next release, and they usually manage to do that. In 2015 at the E3 press conference for FIFA 16, they announced women's teams for the first time, being able to play as a female character for the very first time in FIFA. In FIFA 17, it was the journey that led the way, the introduction of the game mode and Alex Hunter. They toned it down a little bit last year in 2017 for FIFA 18 as they announced an end of an era for Messi as the cover star, and it was then led by the motto fueled by Ronaldo as he became the new cover star. This year I do believe it will be no different. There will be a big announcement that they lead with, and I think I know just what it might be as well. Now, it was recently announced that Konami had lost the licenses to the UEFA Champions League and UEFA Europa League from UEFA. It's been highly speculated, although we don't know at this point, that EA managed to outbid Konami, and Konami weren't willing to offer the sort of money that EA were willing to splash. Now, whilst we don't know for sure at this point, it's important to take this information with a pinch of salt. Of course, we don't know whether or not it was a mutually decided decision, or whether or not one party had decided to split it off. It was originally supposed to be until 2019, but it has been cut short by 1 year, up until the Champions League final in Kiev this month, as of the time of recording this, between Liverpool and Real Madrid. So as a result of that, I do believe that EA will announce that the UEFA Champions League, UEFA Europa League, all of the UEFA club licenses at very minimum will be coming over to FIFA, and I do believe that this will get FIFA fans, myself included, very excited for the next game. It's something that PES have had for minimum the last decade. I do believe it was 2008 when they first obtained the exclusive license to that, and as a result it's always had that one thing that was the upper hand, but this time EA will be able to essentially begin a monopolisation of the market now with that. And like I say, I do believe it will get lots of people very excited. It will open new possibilities and more game modes. Now that doesn't quite round it off for the EA press conference at E3 for FIFA 19. Something else that may or may not be announced is the new cover star. Now, I'm not saying there will be a new cover star, but if there is, obviously it will be announced there. My instincts tell me, and that is all we can really go on at this time, that it will be Ronaldo once again. Of course, he is also at the forefront of the new World Cup mode that is coming later on this month. And as a result, I do believe it will be him again. If not, though, it of course has to be a global star to try and reach the audience that they are attempting to reach with this game. So you have to think of people such as Neymar, maybe even Mo Salah with the year he's had. People like this. Of course, it's not going to be anyone too niche, but I do believe it will be Ronaldo. Now, in terms of games consoles, there's been a lot of speculation as to whether or not EA will go back to Nintendo Switch with another installment of the FIFA franchise. It of course didn't sell very well in the first half of the FIFA life cycle, and it was reported that the CEO of EA, Andrew Wilson, did say that he was disappointed with the sales compared to other consoles and how it was received. Now, FIFA on the Nintendo Switch was slightly below par in terms of the fact that it was a hacked down version. There was no journey game mode on it, and there was also not the new features on career mode. However, the Nintendo Switch, it was announced in its first year of its life cycle, sold almost 20 million copies, and as a result it's clear that the popularity is rising and rising. EA will want to get in on that, and I do believe they are going to return to the Nintendo Switch and will sell more copies next year than they did this year. It's also worth bearing in mind that as of the last couple of months, FIFA 18 has begun to sell much more copies on the Nintendo Switch as more and more people buy the console. I think the fact that it's got heavily portability as well as the option to play in docked mode on a big screen TV, as well as the focus on local multiplayer, is very, very impressive indeed. However, they will also want to look at Nintendo's online capabilities and how their service will go as well. Meanwhile, on past gen consoles, there is a possibility that we will not see another FIFA on a past gen console, Xbox 360 and PS3. It was stated a few years ago that they only had an intention to go up to 2018. They may go one more year, but I believe that will be the maximum. And if not, of course, we will find out at E3, because that is when they announce which games consoles it is on. So that just about rounds off the expected announcements of E3 for EA and FIFA 19. If you made it through to the end, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Do let me know if there's anything you feel EA may announce at E3 for FIFA 19, and do drop them in the comments section. I'll really appreciate that. Remember that I do have a new series coming on May the 29th, as you have seen at the start of the video, so be sure to subscribe to the channel and make sure to tune in on that day when that video drops. On that note, guys, I have been Brom18, and I will see you soon.